how have you enjoyed your day at Female First?
I've loved it. I've got a cup of tea. As long as I've got a cup of tea, I'm happy, and I like answering questions, and talking is a specialty, and you've just let me talk all day, so that's good times for me.
Oh, brilliant. So after you've finished, where are you going back down to London?
Yeah, I'm going back down to London. I've got a casting this afternoon, a recall for a casting. So I've got my case in the car and I'm rushing off back down to London. I'm going to get back for the new puppy. He's at home and
New puppy? Tell us about him.
His name's Milo and he's a Morkie, which is a Yorkie cross with a Maltese. And he's only 12 weeks old, and my flatmate's got to go out, so I've got to get back so he's not on his own. He might wreck the joint.
Oh no, what's his name?
His name's Milo.
Have you got him like a little diamanty collar or anything?
As cliche as I have, yeah. I'm not going to lie, I've got him a little blingy collar and he's got a little tag with his name on.
So if we see you walking around London, we're going to have to give him treats and things.
Oh yeah, you've got to start and give him a kiss and a cuddle and some treats.
Oh, so what else have you been up to since you finished the show? Have you been really busy with all your press and things?
Been so busy. When I left the show, I'd learned so much and I'd done so much. I just wanted to keep building on it. So between me and I've got a great agent, and I've got a PR company which basically they help you out doing press, and they set things like this up for you, which is brilliant. And I did OK magazine, which was like, felt like Jordan, like a big spread in OK magazine, and I've grown up looking at other people's weddings and stuff, and that was like a little dream come true. And I did a photo shoot on the top of a rooftop in London, and they put me in all these pretty dresses and did my hair and makeup, so I loved it. I've done loads of magazines and radio interviews and bits of TV interviews and loads of stuff, and I've had great auditions. I'm just waiting, fingers crossed, to hear back from a few of those. I've had loads of little jobs and appearances and PAs where you go and I get to meet a lot of the people who voted for me on the show, which is just amazing. Because okay, I went out first, so I obviously had the lowest votes like that week, but it still means that thousands and thousands of people voted for you. And got to meet some of those people and say thank you, and they got to ask me a couple of questions, which is really nice. So I've just been really busy, and this is actually my first weekend back up north really since the show, because I live in London full time now, so come home, see the family, and to stop by at Female First.
Amazing. You said that you were the first out, and obviously there was a lot of Lloyd said you didn't look like Dorothy, and there's a lot of things like you being too glamorous. And how did you feel, because you've still got the amazing voice, and it seems pretty unfair that just to go on your looks and your past career maybe?
Yeah, I was so gutted to at first, and a little bit embarrassed as well. But I never expected to get that far, and everyone says it wasn't fair, because it was based on looks and things like that. But that's life. Life is like that. That we live in that sort of society now. That's what the media has done, and I'm so used to it, because you got to remember, Dorothy, it's not the X Factor. It's not just a singing competition. It's for a part, and I go up for parts every day, and they just say, oh, you're an inch too tall, or she's a brunette and you're blonde, or so that's what musical theatre's like. That's like being a part of an actress, really. Not fitting the bill, not looking right. And I was disappointed, because I did think they were looking for someone different on the show. They kept saying they were looking for someone different, and they ended up with someone quite like Judy Garland. But the viewers at home, they've obviously got this image of Judy Garland in the head, and it is really hard to see past that.
Exactly.
And I think for someone so different and diverse like myself, and so obviously completely other end of the scale to Judy Garland in looks and things like that, I thought, to get to the final 10 was a massive achievement. And I'm so used to being judged on my looks. I used to do modelling, and if you put yourself in the modelling world, that's what you're opening yourself up to, is to be judged on your looks. So, and it's such a big part of the industry. It's a shame it's like that. It's a shame it's not all just based on voice, but that's why some of the most famous people in the world play the most famous parts, because they were just right for that part. They had the right look. And
did you ever think about going for, because you've got such a great voice, did you ever think about going for a different show? What was it about Over the Rainbow that made you?
Do you know, this year I thought, I always sit at home and I watch these TV programs, I think I can do better than that, or I'd be good for that. And this year I thought, I'm going to get them all out the way at once, and I'm going to go for Dorothy came up first, and then I'm going to go for X Factor and get them all out of the way and just see how I do, because there's no point grumbling, sitting at home thinking I could do better and not ever giving it a go.
So have you gone for X Factor?
So I was going to go for X Factor, but because I didn't expect to do so well in Dorothy, I thought I'd get booted out after the first couple of rounds in Dorothy, and then, you know, people wouldn't know my face enough that I could go for X Factor, but, you know, got so far in Dorothy that I felt it might be a bit of a reality TV overload. If then I went for X Factor as well. So maybe I'll leave it a year and go for X Factor next year, but I've definitely got to get that one out of my system.
You
Definitely. You know, everyone says, oh, you'd be great on X Factor. So, and I think also being on Dorothy with the press and things like that, it opened your eyes to what it can be like, and X Factor's an even bigger show than the Over the Rainbow and things like that, so it must be, you know, really, you know, a scary time with the press and everything like that, so you've really got to take these things into consideration, what it does to your family and everything, the people around you, so, but I've definitely got to get out of my system. I've got to definitely come face to face with the cowl.
I'm going to watch out for that next year, definitely watching out for that next year. Now, in the Dorothy house, how close did you get to the other girls? Was there a lot of, like, cliques and bitching, and how was it in there?
Do you know, for what was it, 12 girls, 11 girls, there wasn't any bitching. It was so strange because, you know, and I'll be honest, I would tell you, but everyone got on well. Obviously, you know, there was people that got on well. You know, little Sophie Evans, she was my little angel, loved her. Everyone, you know, had their favourite friends in there, but everyone got on well as a whole, and it was such a big, massive house. You could go off to your room and not hear anybody else. My room was getting fixed when I moved in, so me and Steph Aaron moved in with 3 of the other girls, so there was 5 of us in one bedroom, and then when our room was sorted out, we didn't move back. We loved it. It was like a sleepover every night. It was really hot in there, 5 of us in 5 beds. It was a massive room with a big, massive bathroom, but we didn't want to move back. We just had such a fun time, but, you know, we used to get in trouble because we'd be up all night whispering and talking, and the house mother who sort of looked after us, she would come in, time for bed now, girls, and we'd be like, okay, but we used to love it. It was like one big sleepover every night, and, you know, we were so close, and I was the oldest in the house, so I was like mummy Amy, like, you know, I loved all the girls, and hopefully I looked after them.
Definitely, I bet you did. Now, is it musical theatre that you ultimately want to work in, or would you like to be, you know, in the charts, or as a full-time actress, or would you like to be West End?
Do you know, as long as I'm singing, I'll be happy. I'm concentrating on West End at the minute. There's been great opportunities. But, you know, there's also, I'm going into a studio at the end of this month to record with a guy who works with a big artist in America. And you just don't know what's going to come your way. You know, the day I went for Dorothy, I didn't think it was going to get that far. So now I've just opened myself up to everything, because you just don't know what's going to happen. You know, I could end up on a rapper's track in America, and, you know, something could take off there, or I could get a part that I've been waiting to get. I could hear about that today in the West End. So
that's exciting.
I know, so you don't know what's going to happen, so I'm just opening myself up to absolutely everything at the minute.
You're going to have to keep us up to date.
I will, definitely.
So finally, if you found the rainbow and you ran to the end, what would be your ideal prize that would be waiting there for you?
Just to be able to make a living out of singing, like, for the rest of my life, you know, just as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy. I used to work on cruise ships singing, and I was happy doing that, you know, as long as I'm singing and making enough money to get by, making a living, pay my rent in London, and be able to go out, keep my dog in blingy collars, and keep myself in, you know, Topshop and River Island clothes, then I'm happy. I'm one happy girl.
Good. Well, all the best, and we hope
Thank you. Thanks for having me.